Well, I mean, I think it's important to be constantly creative because like, but but it almost becomes like anything, like people do, like if you're a plumber, then you know how to be, then you constantly, if you come to a place and you looking at or if you're a lawyer, or if you're a accountant, you kind of, your brain gets built to think in those ways. And I think in being creative is the same thing. It's just a way of training your brain. So then you're constantly thinking of it just automatically thinks like that. And it's obviously important because you have to, especially in these days where people's attention spans are so short, and it's you have to constantly be creating. Every morning I wake up, I have to think, what do we need to post, what's the funny stuff that's happening today, what can we work on, what can we spoof, or what can we um like, I do a lot of stuff like, put my face on like Kim Kardashian, or like stuff like that, and just to stay on top of all those trends constantly. It's such a massive job. Back in the day, people would make an album. They'd take like a year, make an album, go tour the album, sell a ton of CDs, and then that's where they made their money. But now these days, the avenues have changed so much. It's a 24/7 job. It really is. It's really. I never stop working, like, ever. And even if I'm going out or stuff, or I'm going for dinner, or I'm doing things, I'm still constantly speaking to people. People are coming to me and taking photos. It's something I've had to accept as just it's a part of my life constantly. So it is. So I mean, I think it's important staying on top of everything, and doing and working with creative people, and just training your brain to constantly think creatively about things, which is difficult because, for me in South Africa, you don't have these massive teams around you to handle everything else. So I'm really shitty at admin because I'm so trying to think creatively. The other stuff I kind of let go of sometimes, and then I forget to pay some bills, or I forget to do this, or I forget to answer these emails, and then that stuff always becomes like a complete like a net fuck up, like how it builds up and stuff. So I think but for a creative person, obviously it is important. Sorry, I'm rambling on. I'm going into passageways as I'm talking. Yeah, I mean, I think it's very important to have other avenues. I was very lucky that I started thinking like that quite early, because when I came out, it was kind of the end of CDs. So I still sold my first album, still sold good amount of CDs, because it's incredible the amount of money people made off CDs, because you must remember that they sold vinyls before that. Vinyls cost to make, say, like 50 or 60 rand, and then they sold it for 120 rand, so they made 100% profit. Then CDs came out and they sold it for 3 rand, but they bought it, made it for like 5 rand, and they sold it still for 120, 140 rand. So it was a crazy time. People were so reliant on that. So that was also a shock to the system. Same as COVID, that happened with COVID, from a musical point of view, because people all of a sudden, they were relying so much on album sales. Now people don't buy albums anymore. How do they move over? So I started, and a lot of people kept their music off iTunes and off like Spotify and everything, because no, they still want to sell CDs. But I just went straight from the bat. I was like, this is the future. I'm climbing hard into this stuff. So I've always been very much working with sponsors, and working with brands and stuff like that, and then also working on ventures of my own, which I can tie to my. I realized in that space that music is a great thing. It's always the first thing, but you have to build a brand around it. Otherwise, it never works. There's a lot of people that have amazing voices and write amazing lyrics, but they don't build brands around their music, and that I really concentrated on that hectically from when I started, and that saved me in COVID, because it was COVID was intense. I mean, like I went from 80% of my income being from live shows to to still not being able to play live shows. And it's what, almost 2 years later. And and it's so, to a lot of musicians had to get day jobs again. A lot of musicians, we I can see it when I'm playing shows, where there used to be so many guys that wanted to open and play with, or play with. They're just gone. Like, all those musicians are gone. They just couldn't survive. Um, so I mean, for me, weirdly enough, I really needed the whole COVID thing and the whole lockdown thing, because I was playing 3-4 shows a week. I was touring constantly for 12 years. I was really tired. I really didn't realize how tired I was. So I just really used COVID to rest and reprogram myself, because I started realizing I was struggling a lot to really think creatively. Creativity is also a thing you can't force. I can't force myself to write lyrics. It is you have to be in a space where it kind of comes. And so with COVID, I really just did that. I rested. I kind of re um, booted myself, and now that it's coming out of it, I'm actually have got the energy to go back to touring, to make a new album. I've got a lot of content obviously coming out of me, touch wood. And it's just I've set up, my whole house is set up to also, now where I never had time to do it, I actually could set up my house to that I could do everything here. So I've got, like, if you behind the screen, there's my whole wall is a green screen. I've painted the whole wall green, so I shoot stuff here. I played shows in lockdown. I played shows here in this room, in my office. I just, and I did it all myself. I flipping because I didn't have anything, and then I was like, fuck, I want to play shows, but how am I going to do it? Like, I don't want to rent in, like, go to like some fucking fancy studio and have like these 10 camera guys and everything. That kind of is not the point. Then people can just well buy a DVD of me and watch it. Like, so how am I going to make it so that people want to watch it and it's lacquer? So I'm thankful my sponsors, like people like Superbock and Jagermeister, Puma, these brands jumped on board. I said, I want to do a free show at my house. You guys like cover my costs and everything, and the fees and stuff, and then I'll put it free out on Facebook Live. And so we did that. I went and I found out from someone the Pick and Pay, the Checkers Hyper in fucking Brackenfell was open in like level 5. So I got like a doctor's note to go and stay. I have to go visit like someone there. So on that side of the world, drove. And then I got there and I bought like fucking spraylichte and like swimming pool poles and like wooden easels, and tied and bolted the spraylichte to like swimming pool poles so I can extend them, and to like a wooden easel that you would put under a table, whatever you call it, like a horse, like a tiding. And that was my lighting setup. And then I learned how to program OBS and do like, so I can do the green screen and then have like visuals behind me. So I learned how to program that. I got a little stream deck so I can trigger stuff. So I just like taught myself. I used it to teach myself different trades, and that still apply to me as a musician. So I can still use it for forever. I now have those skills that I didn't have before. And it was really fun. I had the biggest joy. It was so great because I could speak to my audience and speak to a massive part of my audience. I mean, that show, the lockdown one, I think we got like almost at the end before we took it down, because it was just up for a few days, and live we got like 25,000 viewers on it, and overall we got, I think, over 100,000 viewers. So the sponsors were happy, everyone was happy because they could get a free show. And it's also cool, I got a lot of fans from that, because if you're doing a free show on Facebook Live, it pops up on other people's walls, so that also kind of helped. So I think it's a scary, it was a scary thing, but at the end of the day, I'm one of those. I come from South Africa. I've been hustling since I started. No matter how big you get in South Africa or how people think, you're always hustling. I'm not like, in the States, you like fucking Kendrick Lamar and you're making millions of shows and everything. Like, yeah, we always hustling, and I like that. I like that about South Africa. It keeps me going, it keeps me hungry, and it keeps me working. So yeah, when they said no shows, I chose to not be like, oh fuck, what am I going to do? I was just like, okay, cool, fuck, let's do it. Different vibe, let's do it. We're going to do this. No, no, no. I also allegedly sold a lot of Parow brandy in level 5, which also helped a lot for me, like just hustling that underground. So that was also fun. And yeah, fuck, made moeilijkheid and had fun. I think I think once again, being a South African, being South African, South Africa has a way to make you humble. If you like, if you just like a little bit windgat, then South Africa just comes and it's like, no, shut your beak. So it's like it's that's that's the way. Um, so it's yeah. I'm thankful. I've had such a great career and I've had such great people that have supported me and such great opportunities. I think as well. Um, going from Donkermag, which was my first Afrikaans rap crew, um, with which was with Scallywag, with Garlic Brown, with Isaac Mutant. Um, and for example, Isaac Mutant is said to be the first guy to ever rap in Afrikaans, and then Scallywag was like, and Garlic Brown was from Brasse, which was why. So those guys took me under their wing, which they didn't have to. I was like just this weird fucking lighty, like trying to rap, like, and they was so big, and I was just nowhere yet, and that gave me a great start to everything. And then eventually working with Ninja and doing like being part of their previous endeavor, which was Max Normal TV. I was doing a lot of stuff with them. They took me overseas the whole time to like Europe to play shows there. Um, and then kind of doing stuff with them on the Antwoord at the start, and then just kind of launching my career with Cooler as Ecke, and then I was lucky again with Cooler as Ecke, that blowing up this side, but then also this really big rap crew in Holland, in Netherlands, the Opposites. They saw the video and they went to Top Notch, which is like the biggest rap label in Holland, and told them they should sign me, like they should bring me to Europe. And then and that was crazy, Then I went. Then all of a sudden I was signed on Live Nation, which I'm still signed on, which is a massive, the biggest booking agency in the world. Snoop is on there, and like fucking ACDC and people like that. And so growing through that, and then just like going from like not even being on a plane to flying, not ever being on a plane to flying fucking on a Friday to to Russia, and then on a Saturday back to Durban, and then like playing like, and then next day Pretoria, and then flying up, playing 2 shows in Ireland, and then flying back to. It was insane. Like it was really like, they say that it's that's the crazy thing. It kind of goes, you push, and then all of a sudden, that one hit wonder thing, as people say. I get that a lot of people are one hit wonders, but then that's because they usually do something that goes up and then they don't have anything to follow it up. But luckily, I'm very glad that I worked for such a long time to get to that space with Kudra's Eka kind of blowing up, that I knew that if where I am now, I have to keep it I have to keep that level going. Otherwise, I'm going to go down again. And once that wave goes down, it's incredibly hard to get it up again. So it's just about constant pushing and constant doing. And now I have my own festival in Holland, which has been sold out. Um, 3 years running, called Parafest. It's now again that we've actually done. We opened a second night in another town. So we've got Tivoli, which is in Utrecht, and then we've got a one now in Groningen as well in Holland. And yeah, it's like 4,000 people. It's a joy. And you know, fuck, I always got to Holland. I'm always like, till today, I'm like, I'm gonna get there, and fucking no one's gonna be at the show because it's impossible. That how do these people? I still don't get it. But yeah, it's amazing. And I think to answer also the question about being humble, it's just you know um, I worked for so long to get there, and I wrote for so long, and I pushed for so long, and I played in the shittiest places for like a pizza and a beer and like things like that. So when I finally got there, I knew I did the work. So that's what got me there. Not like some fucking anything else. I did the hard work. I still work myself to death. So it's about and I appreciate that, and I appreciate the people for believing in me. And I think if I was a doist, I would stop probably. Well, I think the important thing is just to believe in yourself. You know, I think believe in your vision. I think that's the main thing. You know, people are also always gonna hate. You know, no matter how how what happened in my life, and no matter how well I was doing, people still trying to break me down and still trying to tell me that what I'm doing is wrong and etc. And you know, I always thought about it in this way that you know, if I decided I'm gonna just listen to everyone, I'm gonna make pop music, or I'm gonna just like stop like swearing or whatever it is, and just kind of clean up my act or anything, I would have never been where I was. And then I would have also felt like I betrayed myself. You know, I think if you believe in something and you stick to it, if you fail or you succeed, at least you stuck to what you believed in, and you didn't. It's no one's fault but yourself that whether it succeeds or fails, and that's I think always the main thing. Like just just believe in your vision, believe what you want to do, and then yeah, no matter what happens, you at least go out of it with a happy heart. Yeah.